Writer's block. I really keep thinking there's no such thing. I believe that people who have writer's block, it's probably they haven't made an outline. So today I want to talk about outlining and how to bypass writer's block. So I spend the first 6 months of any writing project, sometimes longer, but at least 6 months writing the outline. And I suppose, to be fair, the writer's block happens during the outlining section because you're trying to think up what happens in every single section of the book, beginning to end, every chapter, all the characters that are in it. This is the opposite of what most people do. Don't most of us sit down and just start writing, and then you have a very polished up first section and not the end? How many people have an unfinished book like that? Everybody starts out like that because you don't have an outline. So this process is supposed to get you through drafting it so you have the full clay of the book, all of the stuff that you're going to mold later on in the editing process. So first you write up everything that happens in each section. So you got to think through the characters, you got to think through the themes, you got to think through, you see, because what a book, when you write something, you're speaking to most of the people who read it will be reading it after you're long dead. So writing is what you're going to say to the rest of the world for all time. This is your voice for the ages. So it has to be about something. It has to have some characters. You don't want it just to be about how you're a victim of everybody else. This sort of a thing. So when we write our outline, so sometimes you might actually draft a few sentences or a few paragraphs about the characters, whatever it is. Whatever it is, you write in your document in each section, so you've got beginning to end. You know the story beginning to end. You could tell the story to someone beginning to end. Once you've got that, that's your outline. You print that out. You cut it up into sections, each chapter or section or part that you would want to write. Then you get a bunch of these plastic folders, and you put each section that you're going to write, the papers, in the plastic folders. Then you lay these down on your floor somewhere, like in a calendar fashion. So what you're going to do is you're going to set aside a time, a few hours every day. See, I don't think you can write more than a few hours every day. People say, oh, I just have time off, or I go to the cabin and I'll write 8 hours a day. You can't write 8 hours a day. Your mind would explode. You could probably pump out a bunch of garbage, but usually for good, solid writing, 2 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes you get on a groove and you might go 6 hours, but it's not too hard to carve out a couple hours in a month every day to get your draft done, to knock that draft out. So you put down the plastic folders, like in a calendar fashion, Monday through Friday, with one section to write every day. Then you do that. And in fact, when I do that, see, here's a schedule, a daily schedule, and I schedule my life from 6 a.m. in the morning to the night, like the time I'm going to write, some morning things, checking emails. I might plan some films to watch to inspire me every night, other reading to do at sunset, this sort of a thing. So this is all, there's a folder a day for however many sections your book has. I'm sure it probably wouldn't be more than a month. So you have like 15 to 30 days. So you have these sitting on the floor, and then you write every section, one per day. Once you've finished one section, you don't go on to the next one. You wait until the next day. And once you've finished writing one section, you don't go back to that again. Because, see, what's the evil we've talked about of just going back to an earlier section so you have a super polished first section but no ending. The intent of this is to draft the whole thing so you've got the whole draft from beginning to end. So you do one section a day, put it aside. The next one, and you have the discipline to only do that section, and then at the end of it, you will have the clay. The words are the clay. You're going to edit it, you're going to mold it, like clay, but you got to have that clay in place to do the book. And at that point, I mean, I'll talk about this later. I'll make an Excel sheet and I'll put all the sections of the book, what happens in every section, and then a chart that shows which characters appear in each chapter and their entrance and their exit, this sort of a thing. And you just slowly start editing and molding the clay. But anyway, the intent is get your full draft done beginning to end, get your outline, and you'll never have to worry about a writer's block. Here's an example. It took a lot of outlining to do that. This is my latest novel. It's a story. It has multiple characters, main characters, who are intersecting and often not intersecting in the giant metropolis. Disillusion, traveling out to the ends of the world. It's not about a bunch of events happening. It's about the thoughts and the feelings and the interactions and the themes and what I want to say to all the world for all time. So it's for sale at bookstores in Thailand. It's also on Kindle Amazon. If you read it, let me know what you think. Thank you.